Special forces are known all over the world as the elites of war. Each country, according to its security needs, specially trains small groups of its army or police and provides them with unique facilities. These forces have special duties according to the security and political situation in each country. Their reaction speed is very high and they have been trained for a long time for modern battles. From preventing riots to unequal battles, it is considered among their duties. Number 10. French GIGN Forces. GIGN forces are among the oldest special forces in Europe. You have definitely seen signs of them in the game Counter-Strike. The GIGN forces are among the sub-branches of the French Gendarmerie, and the reason for their creation was the tragic events in the 1972 Olympics and the riot in the prison where all the hostages were killed. Today, these forces have saved the lives of at least 400 people in hostage operations, and among other important battles of GIGN, we can include the release of children during the Djibouti hostage crisis, the arrest of Bosnian war criminals, the fight against Somali pirates, and the rescue of the hostages of the French airline in 1994 in Marseille. Cited. These forces are trained to prevent hostage-taking, escort dangerous criminals, and similar conflicts. GIGN is one of the largest special forces in Europe. Number 9. SSG Forces of Pakistan. Pakistan is always prone to terrorist incidents. On the other hand, this country has not very friendly relations with two of its neighbors. Pakistan has strong security and anti-insurgency systems due to having nuclear bombs. Despite the fact that there are many terrorist incidents in this country, there are few signs of the successful operations of the army and special forces in them. However, SSG is in the video of the 10 most dangerous forces in the world. These forces were formed in 1956 and their formation was based on the sampling and training of British SAS forces and American Special Forces. In the 9 months of basic training, only 1 out of 4 people are selected to serve in this force, and fighting with bare hands and powerful physics are among the most important parameters for selecting the forces of this category. These forces are trained for the special conditions of this country. For example, fighting in the desert, mountains, and special physical conditions. It has been claimed that some of these forces fought against the Soviets in Afghanistan alongside the Mujahideen. Lately, SSG has been focusing on counterterrorism. Gunagiri operations such as the attack on the police academy in Lahore, 2009. So far, there have been several hostage takings in Pakistan's military areas. Number 8. Sayeret Matkal Forces of Israel. The main focus of this category is on the release of hostages outside of Israel. These forces were established in 1957 to fill a void in the country's army. The selection of forces in this category is based on physical fitness and high intellectual intelligence. Sayeret Matkal candidates undergo 18 months of rigorous training such as infantry, parachuting, counterterrorism, and reconnaissance training. These forces became famous during the liberation of Uganda. In this operation, all the hostages were released. Number 7. Austrian EKO Cobra Forces. After the terrorist attacks during the 1972 Munich Olympics, Austria also created the EKO Cobra category. In this category, nearly 450 men were recruited and they are from the Federal Forces of Austria. Their training includes learning other languages, precision shooting, and assault tactics training. Only a small number of volunteers enter Cabri after passing tough mental and physical tests. Some of them also undergo training such as diving, special explosives, and parachuting. The release of hostages from Graz prison and the end of the plane hijacking in 1996 by only 4 members of the EKO Cobra Commandos are among the important victories of this force. Austria is one of the countries that has always been a leader in army competitions. Number 6. American Delta Force. Delta Force is a counterterrorism unit of the United States Army under the Joint Special Operations Command, JSOC. Delta Force was created in 1977. Delta Force members have special skills in counterinsurgency, small unit tactics, and various infiltration techniques. The initial training of these forces was carried out by the British Airborne Special Forces, and after that this force started its work independently. These forces have participated in many battles and have many experiences. Among them are the hostage-taking in the Middle East Kuwait Airlines, the destruction of a group of communists in Vietnam, the release of a group of American hostages who were captured in Panama, the complete destruction of a missile site and a radar center in northern Iraq, and the assassination of one of the leaders of al-Qaeda. The name of Mohammed Farah in Mogadishu. These forces are currently serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. The minimum age to join the Delta Force is 21 years old and they are in the training phase. This training course lasts for 6 months, and it is interesting to know that there is not much information about many operations of this force, and some of them are completely secret. Number 5. Canadian JTF-2 Forces. Canada is a relatively calm country without borders, however, there are critical conditions for the whole world. These forces were established in 1993, and after the September 11 incident in the United States, they began their joint work with the Anti-Terrorism Unit. The activities of this force include escorting important army forces in Afghanistan, targeting snipers in Bosnia, providing security during the events of the 2010 Winter Sports, preventing terrorist incidents secretly outside of Canada, rescuing hostages in Iraq, etc. Cited. The information of these forces is so confidential that the Prime Minister was not aware of it during the conflict in Afghanistan. They also have direct cooperation with U.S. Special Forces. JTF-2 is Canada's premier special forces. Number 4. Russian Alpha Group Forces. Alpha forces are active in Russia. Their establishment dates back to the mid-1970s. These forces became famous after attacking the presidential palace of Afghanistan. After this massacre, they attacked a group in Beirut in 1985 and tried to rescue the Soviet diplomats. Some sources have mentioned the attack of these forces on the relatives of the hostage-takers. These forces were present during operations such as the Moscow Theater in 2002 and the Beslan School in 2004. The main purpose of these forces is to free hostages, operate abroad, fight against big mafia gangs, fight against money laundering, etc. Number 3. Forces Shayetet 13 Israel. The third dangerous force chosen from the richest list is Shayetet. This force is related to the Israeli naval forces and is one of the most prominent special forces in the world. Since Israel is always in combat, its special forces are also one of the most operational special forces in the world. These forces were established in 1948. The main task of Shayetet 13 in the field of counterterrorism is to collect information before the attack and to carry out the infrastructure of the conflict. These forces participate in a training course for 20 months and are trained in underwater warfare, destruction, parachuting, hostage release, operations in the darkness of night and absolute darkness, fighting with cold weapons, etc. Attacking a ship and capturing it is one of their trainings. After the attack on the 1972 Olympics, these forces tracked down those responsible for the attack and destroyed them. Number 2. U.S. Navy SEALs. Flood forces are among the best in the world, known for high violence along with endurance. These forces started working in 1962, and one of their most important missions took place in 2011 when they killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda. The main training of these forces lasts for 1 year, and many of them are removed from this training even in the first days. Some believe that Navy SEALs will undergo the most physically demanding training in the world. They are physically one of the most unique in the world. On May 2, Pakistan local time, 2011, the President of the United States of America, Barack Obama, announced that the 6th Team of the United States Navy's Special Unit during an Operation Osama bin Laden, the founder and leader of the Al-Qaeda group and the perpetrator of the 11 attacks, September was killed in a villa in Abbottabad, Pakistan. According to United States officials, this operation was carried out by 20 to 25 soldiers of the United States Navy under the command of the Joint Special Operations Command and with the cooperation of the CIA. These forces are responsible for naval strike attacks, covert and covert operations deep in the enemy's territory, and simultaneous attacks. Number 1 British SAS Forces. And finally, the last choice from the list of the richest collection was assigned to one of the best and most famous forces in the world. The SAS started during World War II. SAS stands for Special Air Service, a special forces unit of the British Army, which was formed on June 10, 1320. This force is considered as one of the models of special forces for other countries. The duties of this force include fighting terrorism, reconnaissance operations, and fighting hostages. The training of this force is very hard, for example, long-term hiking alone with little food, surviving in harsh conditions, 36-hour interrogation, enduring pain and torture, long-term swimming and parachuting in abnormal conditions are among them. Thank you for being with me. This list was based on rescuing hostages and the strength of that force, but everyone has their own opinion. Until the next video. Goodbye.